Live.
Damn. This was actually shot in Belize. Yeah, this dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, lived down in Belize, and Brianna Baker shot it for us for Cannabis Team a long time ago. But beautiful down in Belize. We like that.
Yeah, that's great video.
So,
Man,
hello.
we have some nice videos, man. The other one with the guy working out.
Yeah, we're actually, what's really, really cool is it's taken a long time, but like trying to develop these relationships with different people. Now, Brianna was a wonderful young lady who like came in at the right time. She was very young then. She's still young now, but she'd probably be way too expensive for us now. She's an amazing, amazing photographer. So we're just lucky that she did this for us kind of as a favor. Welcome to the Waked and Somewhat Baked Show. I'm Rick Wood from CTW, and this is Sean Rosa from Deeply Rooted. How are you?
Yo, I'm doing awesome, buddy. How about yourself?
I like yo. How you feeling, man? You feeling better? I know you had a little injury.
Yeah.
You got run over by a herd of wild bison. Got attacked by wild bison in Apache Junction. So,
pretty much that's what it feels like.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm taking our CBDs, for the pain.
And I find for me too that geez, that cream, thank goodness for that, because you know about my injury and I use it on my lower back all the time.
Yeah.
If you're on here today, you know how to get to us. If you want to ask us questions, go ahead. If you don't, that's okay too. I know how you guys are. Let's take it out of that realm. There we go. We're back to handsome Sean and handsome Rick. One of the things here too is in the last week or so, I've gotten a lot of questions about digestive disorders and CBD and THC. Yeah. How does that work? My hair's a mess.
CBD is awesome for stomach issues and calming it and putting some regularity to the digestive system. Helps with inflammation that might be happening, due to other types of things that are early onsets of Crohn's or diverticulitis or ulcer colitis. There's a lot of different stomach ailments. They're referencing it now as the second brain, right? Because we're finding, things that we're finding in the brain as well as in the digestive system. I forget what the term is called, but there are this type of, maybe or someone else does.
What was it? A friend of mine once said. She's like a physician's assistant, and she used to say that crazy starts in the stomach. Gut health ties a lot to health, anxiety, all of that stuff. And I remember her saying that. She goes, "Crazy starts in the stomach." So,
and if you have, digestive problems, you're not getting the sleep that you want, you're feeling uncomfortable, and it starts the anxiety process, right?
Your wife is going to kill you because you left that door open, and then she walked by the door. She walked by again, but it froze. So, hi, Mrs. Sean. Don't get mad at us. We didn't mean to do that. You just kind of froze in the door. Yeah, just I'm gonna kill you. Amy was like,
when the delivery guy comes. Amy was what?
Amy was like, I'd come on and say hi to Sean, but I look a mess. And I go, well, don't worry about it. A thing here too is when we talk about digestive stuff, there's another thing too, like people with autonomic stuff, POTS syndrome, no pun intended. It isn't necessarily that the pain is digestion, but the pain is in the gut.
Right.
Like, and I tell people that it helps with that inflammation that's in that muscle wall, all of that. So it's not, because my wife will go, it's
Correct.
not
Or spasming.
digestive. Right. It's spasm. Thank you. It's the spasming. It will help reduce the spasms. If there's anything you guys
Yep.
take today
Big
with the
time.
digestive stuff, the stomach stuff, we're not just talking about how, digestion moves. It's that inflammation, that tension that's in the gut. And that's what it would
Right.
definitely help with. Shoot, you know what? If your boy Matt is listening from Little Mesa Cafe, I have to get some Scrapple and ship it out to him before we get out there.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
It's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we definitely
that
should.
was
He'll cook it up for us because I've never had scrapple.
oh, that's right. Oh, my friend.
Yeah.
And you look like a Scrapple dude too,
Au
man.
contraire.
And that's a
Is there a
compliment. You
look?
look like
It's like,
there's a look. I look homeless, but you got a Scrapple look. Um, I look homeless. You know what? People remind us of that today. Sean, what the F is a Scrapple look? You looking at it? It's a Scrapple, man. It's all
I
Scrapple.
guess it's Scrapple. I was thinking a Scrabble, because I love that game. I'm like, do I have a Scrabble look? Maybe I need my different glasses on it.
I play Scrabble a lot. It's a great way I play it online. It's a better way than
Yeah.
watching the news or getting on social media. But I play for like an hour,
Right.
and it's a blast.
Yeah.
And it's free. You should got to let me know. I'll play you sometime.
Right. Shit. I was actually just playing this morning. Me and Christy got a game going. Said, let's play some Scrabble,
Well, let me see here.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a question here. Is this about inflammation or what? Can people be allergic to hemp? And I would say yes, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shoot, you can be allergic to Twinkies. So far, I have not been, but yeah, you can be allergic to hemp.
Luckily. Yeah.
When you guys,
you would start.
What does it like? I can use this lady is saying, not this lady, Melissa is saying, I use the oil for sleep onset, but I use the oil during the day, right before I go to work, before I talk to people on the phone, and it works great. So why am I like ready to rest and sleep with it at night, but during the day, I'm ready to go? That's a good question.
I haven't figured that part out. I think maybe it's nighttime and you're already getting used to that routine, and going to bed, and this is going to help relax you. So now you're already going to bed. It's going to relax you. Be the same thing as helping in the morning, and you have a little anxiety about work or about school or a test or, having to meet people or have a speaking engagement, then you notice that the CBD is also working to help the anxiety as well. I haven't figured out why it works on both ends.
And I have noticed too, because I have used it like when I want to take a nap. Like that might be 2:00 in the afternoon. I've used a little oil, like a half an eyedropper full, and I can take my nap. But if I'm working and doing my thing, like when I'm ready to go down, it definitely works pretty well. And this lady's talking about Parkinson and tremors. She's antsy about THC, and she knows that THC is good, but could I start with CBD? Could that help a little bit with my tremors?
Absolutely. I would suggest starting there. If it's not doing the job, then we need to introduce the THC as well so they can work together. So they do have a symbiotic relationship. It will help on different ends, but the CBD should help with the spasming, should still help with the overactive nerves that are causing that. So let's start there with an oral tincture, and probably gonna have to take a little bit to get started, to see how it is, like once, twice a day, and then maybe having to go to 3 times a day, depending on how bad it is.
And this is a Gummies question. I love this.
All right. I love
I
gummies.
love the gummies. I love gummies all the time, but I hear with CBD, shouldn't I use the oil first to get it in my system before I start using, like, should I load
Mhm.
with CBD oil
Yeah,
first? Okay, so
of
yes.
course.
A-
Yeah, because the gummy is going to have sugar and whatnot. And
And there is now, I know that in the works in the past during the pandemic, you and I talked about a little bit about using possibly stevia or monk fruit or something like that, but
Mhm.
that's a lot of experimentation because stevia has a weird thing about how you bake it or how you cook it. So, but
Right,
I'd love
right.
to
And the
see a
gummies are
sugar,
really good for people who just hate the taste.
right. Um,
Right.
is what there needs, like I'm diabetic. It'd be great if there was a sugar-free version.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
stevia would be like a
The
good
oil
one,
is the
but
closest we could get. Right.
to do that. All right, this guy goes, did this guy's name Mark? Did you guys grow up together? No, we didn't. They wouldn't have let me
No.
in Sean's neighborhood, I don't think. No, we've known each other just through the industry in the last couple of
No.
years,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, it's
it's
been a
been
couple
kind of
years now.
cool. Hmm. Very cool, man.
It
I
really
like
has.
the cool people I have met within the confines of all this, and really
Yeah.
seriously dedicated, passionate people. I've found now I sound like a multi-level
Right.
marketing show. I've met a lot of dedicated and passionate people. Um, no, just in the
Right.
work itself. In the work itself, it's been really, really,
Yeah.
really, really cool. Um, mm, so let me see here. Let me check the other list here. Are you guys high now? No, I'm not. Sean is because he's infused with an IV of THC that he carries with him for his injury. It's hooked to his hip and
Right.
it just gives him THC throughout the day. But that's why he's
It's like a
always
morphine
smiling.
pump. Yeah.
It's a morphine punch. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. No, have you ever used transdermal patches for THC?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Um, I used
Yes, we
that
have.
when I first
So
got
for
hit
certain
by.
types of okay.
No, no, go ahead. For
Oh, I was
certain
saying we
types
just use
of.
it depending on what the yeah. For certain types of inflammation. Yeah.
Uh, does transdermal work in the same way an edible does in the effect for THC? Like,
No.
if you eat an edible, you're
No.
pretty stoned.
Um.
So,
Right. I would say no, just because it's entering through the bloodstream in a different way by going through the skin tissue and being absorbed that way. Um, I don't think it's as strong of a feeling because you're getting more of like when you're doing topical, you're targeting more of the properties that have the pain and the tremors and the inflammation. Where it's going through the gut, you're getting some of the more psychoactives. The way that gummies will hit you a little different, edibles will hit you a little different. Versus skin contact, which is more like a secondary type of way of absorbing the medication. So it's processed way differently. So I don't think you would get the same effects. You're not going to have like the high effect, but you're going to have that pain relief and the swelling effects, that you would have that you're looking for, the anti-inflammation and calming down any tremors and helping with pain especially.
um, now I don't think this is a preference or whatever. People do whatever they want. Um, this person's asking here about phone's ringing about alcohol and
I know both of
THC.
ours are going.
Yeah,
Hmm.
alcohol and
Party time.
THC. But is there
Um,
like I prefer to do THC before I would do alcohol in any capacity, but are there,
right.
does one affect the other in any
I
way?
don't know if there's any health benefits.
Right.
Sure.
Thank
I
you. I don't
think
think
it's
there
kind of
any.
like one's gonna make you inebriated, and then you're adding something else on top of that is going to be extra inebriated, right? So you're looking probably now at a highly intoxicated person, because not only are they, the confines of alcohol has to do with your balance, cerebral, thought processes. And now you also have that, and you're on a mild hallucinogenic. Yeah,
Right.
you're definitely
And
going
the
to
other
feel
thing
the
too is,
effects.
now, if you're someone who's got issues with anxiety, I wouldn't combine the two,
Yeah.
because the alcohol is a
No.
depressant,
Well,
and
right.
so
Exactly. Yeah.
that's just
If you're looking at it
that.
as a health effect, yeah, there's no probably health benefits to alcohol, except for in a camping scenario where you have a wound and you're drinking Jack Daniel's straight. And it's like, if you're just looking to alleviate yourself, that's obviously going to work.
And there's a time and a place for everything, I guess. But no, I would say if somebody has anxiety, that kind of thing, just combining the two is not something to do on a regular basis anyway.
No.
Anyway.
For anxiety, we're going to talk more of the CBD than combining the THC. Right. We're going to look more towards the CBD side of it.
Also, too, we are going to have more people on the show again. There is, gosh, I don't have his name with us, but he is a bud tender at Harvest in Mesa, and he and his father grow. And they would probably love to come on and chat with us. And speaking of grow, this is a good question. Nice. I don't even know the answer. Are the grow times to hemp and marijuana similar?
Yeah. And, the grow times between breeds are, different. It could be 5 weeks to bloom. It could be, 8 weeks. So there's different times for different breeds, but they're generally about the same. It's seasonal. So in Arizona, we get 2 seasons here.
You're going through harvest time now?
Yeah, we're finished. Yeah, we're done. We're done with all that work.
So how'd it go?
Unless you're doing indoor. Good. Very happy. Very happy.
Is hydroponics still a big thing now? There's a guy here.
People still do it. I don't.
I remember, like, I guess about 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago, something like, no, longer than that, about 15 years ago, you're always hearing about people growing stuff hydroponically. But I guess now that's just because of the illegality of it that people were looking into that. Because you got to grow it indoors.
Perhaps. I mean, it was definitely, it was an indoor method of growing, like probably to solve all the problems with soil, right? You're getting all this soil inside the house, and now, that creates all these other problems. It's not very forgiving, so if you don't know what you're doing and you're just starting off growing, hydroponics isn't forgiving. It can get too hot, with chemical, right? So like if you're adding nutrients and you get too hot, you can burn up the plant. And not temperature hot, we're just talking nutrient hot, too much or too little, or you can get root balls where the roots get too woundly tight around each other and they end up creating pockets where they're not getting any nutrients at all and they die. And you get mildew and rot problems. So it's a very unforgiving system, but if you know what you're doing, it can work. I personally like live soil. So we do a complex live soil where we feed our soil an all organic mix, and the soil's organic. And then the enzymes and the byproduct of the soil is the food that the plant lives off. So I feed the soil and the soil feeds my plant.
That is true. That is true. My phone's just going off here. I don't know if people are texting me or they're asking me questions here.
Questions?
Children, and she's talking about kids here with seizures, epilepsy, that kind of thing. Does CBD and THC both have anti-seizure properties, and is one better than the other?
There's more anti-seizure properties in the CBD.
Okay.
In the CBD side. I can pull up my thing, but that's what you would want to focus on. If it's a degenerative cell disorder that's causing the seizures or causing the episodes, then you might want to check into some type of way of introducing THC as well, because then you're going to get a symbiotic relationship where it's targeting the cells that shouldn't be there and getting rid of those versus slowing down an overactive nerve that's firing too much. So different things there to look at.
There's a lot of Parkinson's forums that look into the RSO and CBD combination, like because of the seizure stuff.
Right.
And could you briefly explain, because there are people who are probably here on the Facebook page that don't know what even RSO is?
Yeah, it's Rick Simpson Oil. He's the guy who kind of developed this system of taking the oil in its more raw form and activating it, getting it to the temperature that your body needs to break this chemical down easier. So it puts it in a ready use state. So when you introduce it into your bloodstream, it gets activated right away. So once the compound of the plant's chemicals are heated up to a certain temperature, then it turns it into that, that tar like consistency. But all that is activated CBD and THC together, and all the other cannabinoids. So,
Oh, this is like, he's probably not going to want to answer it. I go, he must know you or something. He goes, what is your favorite weed strain to grow? This is a grow question.
Okay. We have a lot of good genetics of our own stuff that we've had for a while. Obviously, I like growing that, but
he said for Arizona,
cherry pie strain that we have.
For Arizona,
for indoor or outdoor?
You heard that? Then
indoor?
Type back, fool. Outdoor.
Oh yeah, cherry pie is great. For outdoor, cherry pie has been really good. Any of the Skywalkers too, been really good too. Some of the gelati.
And those are some of the Earthers. So there you go. If you're growing outside, like you said you are, you go ahead and do that. I like that. I like we get grow questions here as well. We're starting to get a very big variety of questions. And yes, if you can remember to send it to us, these questions ahead of time, we might even do a whole show based around whatever that topic is. We're just getting new at this, but we like doing it. So here, let me see at anything else here. Gotta look at our list. I can't even, this one, I think I sent it to you, but I think we might have to do a little more research on that one. It's a lot to go over. I think this is fine. Kids use it. Yes. This lady's asking if, teens can use CBD oil for their anxiety. And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. My daughter has been using it for years. It's not always an everyday thing, even though, I tell people it should be, and we try to, but if it's really bad, if she has anxiety, we make sure she takes a gummy or she takes the oil, and it helps big time. It's gotten through a lot of rough mornings where, she's got sensory things where, things just aren't perfect or the clothes just don't feel right. It's a problem. And we were able to use that to help. My twin nephews, they have Asperger's. They've been on CBD for a long time, and it's helped out a lot with anger, outbursts, and trigger things that get them upset. So, yeah.
So all you people here who have kids that are dealing with Asperger's, kind of social stuff, that is something really to look at. That is even something I didn't even realize, because Asperger's, autism, all of that spectrum stuff is a way for that to be treated naturally. Now, I'm not a physician in any way, so if your child or anyone else is on medications of some kind, always check with your doctor. You're supposed to do that. You have that responsibility.
Exactly.
and nothing we're saying here is like, if you have Parkinson's, not once did Sean say, if you go out and smoke a joint, your Parkinson's will be cured. That's not it. This is supplemental advice to you guys taking care of the condition. That kind of thing. It's like,
even though it's anecdotal, it's a lot of testimony. We've dealt with this for a long time now. So we've helped a lot of people in different areas who've exhausted traditional medication, and they turn to us and they're like, well, what if I try this? Say, well, what if you don't, right? So that's the worst that could happen, is if you try and it doesn't work, we know we can eliminate that as one of the things that, isn't the cure for you. And, we don't take it personal.
And Sean and myself, I was in the healthcare industry for a while, and I owned my own health food stores for a while as well. So with his grow, his cannabis knowledge, CBD, hemp, it's just a couple of guys. We've done our homework, but still do your homework. Make sure you talk to your doctors and tell your MD, like, if you're utilizing this stuff. Most doctors are not that judgmental these days. So, unless your doctor says
most
you really ought to,
could prescribe it.
Right. If you have a doctor that says, don't smoke that weed, take this oxy, you might want to, get a second opinion. So that would be the case.
Yeah.
And I very rarely take pain meds, but when I have an injury or something like that goes beyond that, like, for the most part, the stuff I find, Sean, is that I know people who take like Tylenol every day. I mean, it's part of the
horrible.
It screws up the liver, all of that
part of the
stuff.
regimen, right?
And even taking aspirin, they're starting to say that could affect some clotting issues with you. So the benefits of the aspirin for the heart, there might be something that is not that great. Not telling you not to do it, but just do some of your homework. During the pandemic, both Sean and I were using oil all the time because the oil naturally boosts the immune system. It was something else that we did for ourselves. Like, we wash our hands, we take some oil, whatever it takes to do that. But this is all just, it's to supplement what you guys are doing for yourselves, because we find that there are a lot of people dealing with pain and anxiety, all kinds of stuff, sleep stuff, and that's what we're here for. And we will talk about the hemp side and the marijuana side. So if you're okay with that, check in with us weekly. We're starting to get hungry again, so I think we need to go
send
back.
in your questions.
We need to go to the cafe, unless you have a restaurant that you want us to come to, we'll come to that one too.
Right? If you have a restaurant and you want us there, message Rick.
Also, too, I don't think he's on here now, but I bet he would. Have you heard of Dame of the West Tattoo out in Scottsdale?
No.
John Gerber, incredible tattoo artist.
I haven't heard
of him.
Incredible guy.
Okay,
I know John Gerber.
Yeah. So I don't know. Say, hey, why don't you let us? He might. He goes, if you don't get on my tattoo artist nerves, I guess we could do that. Look at the time here. Oh, we have been here for half an hour. We've done our chit chat, guys. Thank you so much, especially for you guys, like even the people who texted me and asked questions today. That was really very, very cool. And we will be here next week. We've kind of been playing it by ear, but we should be here next week, Tuesday at noon, either live from our homes or offices or from some lucky restaurant that wants my chubby ass in it. So with that, anything you'd like to add?
No, sir. Oh, that was an awesome show. Thanks, Rick.
All right, buddy.
And don't everyone forget to go buy our products.
Yes.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye.